So what do you mean by work? So what do you mean by work? Suppose this is body, and when force acts on this body, suppose the force is acting on this body. If this force acts on a body and it moves, then it moves at a certain distance, then work is said to be done. Then work is said to be done. So how work is said to be done? If अगर किसी भी ऑब्जेक्ट के ऊपर अगर कोई भी फोर्स अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, अगर वो मूव करता है तो उसका वर्क डन होगा, अगर वो मूव नहीं करता तो वर्क डन नहीं होगा. So which is required to work is to be done? Movement. And what are the examples of work done? What are the examples of work done? First is lifting bag. अगर हम बैग को उठाते हैं तो क्या होता है? वर्क इज डन. सेकंड इज पुश अ चेयर. इफ वी आर पुशिंग अ चेयर, then work is done. Third example of work done is kicking a football. So these are three examples of work done. And next is, however, when an object does not move even on applying force, no work is said to be done. If any object does not move, if suppose this is object, if this does not move, then work done is no work, the work is done in this case. If this object does not move, then work is not done. Then work is not done. And suppose it is our wall. ये हमारी अगर दीवार है, अगर इसके ऊपर कोई भी पर्सन फोर्स अप्लाई कर रहा है, अगर ये वॉल मूव कर रही है, तो वर्क इज डन. अगर ये वॉल मूव नहीं कर रही, then work is not done. So what are the fill in the blanks? When dash acts on a body. So what acts on a body? Force. When force acts on a body to a certain distance, then work is said to be done. So in the first fill up, there is a force, and in the second fill up, there is a work. So what do you mean by work? And what are the example of work? So what are the example of work? Lifting a bag, pushing a chair, kicking a football. So these are examples of work done. And how work is done? When force acts on a body, and if it moves at a certain distance, then work is done. Next topic is machine. So what do you mean by machine? It is a tool which makes our work helpful and work easier. एक ऐसा टूल जो हमारे काम को इजी बना देता है, that is called machine. Machine reduce the effort required to do work. Suppose it requires 20 Newton, 20 work, 20 joule effort. So machine reduces the effort. So machine reduces the effort If our effort is 20, it reduces to less than 20. With the help of machine, we can do work which would otherwise be impossible. So, with the help of these machines, work becomes so easier. And what are the examples of machine? Pulley, wheel and axle, screwdriver, bicycle. So these are examples of machine. So this is car, it is also machine. This is axe, this is also machine. This is scissor, this is also machine. This is screwdriver, this is also machine. And this is washing machine, so this is also machine. And next topic is types of machine. And what are the types of machine? It has two types. First is simple machine. Second is complex machine. So first is simple machine. Second is complex machine. And what are simple machine? Simple machine help us to change the direction of force. So what are simple machine and what are the examples of simple machine? जिस मशीन में बहुत कम पार्ट्स होते हैं उसको हम सिंपल मशीन बोलते हैं, और जिसमें बहुत सारे पार्ट्स होते हैं उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? कॉम्प्लेक्स मशीन. And what are the example of simple machine? Scissor, axe, lever. So these are examples of simple machine. So I will explain simple machine with the help of pictures. So these are simple machine. First is lever. So first is lever. So it is also simple machine. Wheel and axle. This is wheel. This is axle. This is simple machine. So this is pulley. This is also simple machine. This is screw, जो पेच होता है हमारा. This is also simple machine. This is wedge. This is also simple machine. So next is, so what do you mean by lever? So it is lever. ये ऐसी रोड होती है और किसी भी लोड को उठाने के काम आती है ये. It is lever. So what are the examples of lever? Scissor, nutcracker, stapler. So these are levers. So these are levers. And this is wheel and this is axle. So this is also simple machine. So this is also simple machine. Next is pulley. It is pulley. So it is pulley. And next is, these are examples of pulley. ये पानी निकालने के लिए हम जो यूज करते हैं, ये rotating wheel होता है. This is called pulley. And what do you mean by inclined plane? So this is our inclined plane. This is inclined plane. This is inclined plane. अगर हम किसी भी प्लेन को टेढ़ा कर देते हैं, this is called inclined plane. So these are all simple machines. So what are simple machine? I'm explaining again. First is lever. So next is wheel and axle. Third is pulley. Fourth is wedge. Fifth is screw. So these are examples of simple machine. So what do you mean by lever? It is lever shown in the figure. It is used to lift weight, and it is a rod and it is inclined with some angle. And what are the examples of lever? Scissor, nutcracker, stapler. And next is, what do you mean by wheel and axle? This is shown in the figure. This is our wheel and axle. And this is pulley. So this is pulley. And what are the examples of pulley? So this is used to lift water. So these are examples of pulley. And what do you mean by inclined plane? This is inclined plane. This is inclined plane. This is inclined plane. So these are all simple machines. So what are simple machines? They are very simple with few or no moving parts. ये बहुत simple होती हैं और इसमें बहुत कम moving parts होते हैं. And what are the examples of simple machine? Scissor and axe and lever, which we have shown in the previous pic, and scissor, axe, lever. So these are example of simple machine. And what are the another example of simple machine? Our inclined plane. Inclined plane is also simple machine. Next is complex machine. So what do you mean by complex machine? It is a combination of several simple machines. Suppose in the car, it contains many machines. कार में छोटी छोटी बहुत सारी simple machines होती हैं. So it is a combination of simple machine. And what are the examples of complex machine? Car, refrigerator, washing machine, bicycle. So these are examples of complex machine. So what do you mean by machine? It is the tool which makes our work easy. जो टूल हमारे काम को इजी बनाता है उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? मशीन. और मशीन कितने टाइप की होती है? 2. सिंपल मशीन, कॉम्प्लेक्स मशीन. जिसमें बहुत कम पार्ट्स लगे होते हैं, जो बहुत सिंपल होती है, उसको हम सिंपल मशीन बोलते हैं. जिसमें बहुत सारी सिंपल मशीन से जो मिलके बनी होती है उसको हम कॉम्प्लेक्स मशीन बोलते हैं. And what are the examples of simple machines? Scissor and axe and lever. Scissor, axe and lever. And what are the example of complex machine? Car, refrigerator, washing machine, bicycle. So these are examples of complex machine. And what are the uses of machine? So what are the uses of machine? So first is machine reduces the force required to do work. So what are the uses of machine? First is it reduces the force required to do work. Second is they increase the rate of doing work. अगर हम मशीन से काम करते हैं तो वर्क जल्दी हो जाता है. And they can change direction of force. So if you want to change the direction of force, we can use machine. Machine multiply the force applied. Suppose on this box we want force. If force it requires 60 Newton force, a machine multiply this force and our work becomes easier. And work become easier. जो हमारा काम है वो मशीन की हेल्प से बहुत इजी बन जाता है और जो फोर्स है उसमें कम लगता है और फोर्स को वो मल्टीप्लाई कर देता है एंड डायरेक्शन ऑफ फोर्स को चेंज करता है. So these are uses of machine. So what are the uses of machine? So first is it can change direction of force. it reduces the effort, and it reduces the force required to do work, and it can also change the direction of force. So you have to match the following. So machine, what is the use of machine? Tool which make our work easy. And what are the example of simple machine? Lever. And what are the example of complex machine? Refrigerator. So this is matched with following. Machine is matched with tool which makes our work easy. And next is simple machine. Lever is example of simple machine, and refrigerator is example of complex machine. So again I am explaining, what do you mean by machine? It is a tool which make our work easy. जो टूल हमारे काम को इजी बनाते हैं, it is called machine. So what do you mean by, what are the example of machine? Pulley, wheel and axle, screwdriver, this is screwdrivers, bicycle. So these are examples of machine. Next is, what is the difference between simple machine and complex machine? So it has very few parts, but it is a combination of simple machine. And what are the example of simple machine? Scissor, axe, lever. So lever, it is also simple machine. Pulley, it is also simple machine. Wheel and axle, it is also machine. So next is complex machine. So it is combination of many simple machine. And what are the example of complex machine? Car, refrigerator, washing machine, and bicycle. So you have to learn the types of machine. And what are the uses of machine? First is, it reduces the force. Next is, it changes the direction of force. And next is, it multiply the force applied. So you have to learn what are the uses of machine. First is, it less the force, it reduces the force. It reduces the force. जब हम मशीन से काम करते हैं तो हमें कम फोर्स लगाना पड़ता है, और किसी भी डायरेक्शन को चेंज करना हो, फोर्स की डायरेक्शन को चेंज करना हो, तो वी कैन डू विद द हेल्प ऑफ मशीन. And it multiply the force. So force is multiplied with the help of machines. Next topic is energy. So what do you mean by energy? अगर हम energy, what is the definition of energy? Energy is the ability to do work. So अगर हमने कोई भी काम करना है, चाहे हमने कुकिंग करनी है, चाहे हमने कपड़े प्रेस करने हैं, तो इसके लिए हमें क्या चाहिए? इसके लिए क्या चाहिए? एनर्जी. So what do you mean by energy? It is ability to do work. किसी भी काम को करने की जितनी एबिलिटी जिसमें है, that is called energy. अगर कोई जल्दी काम कर लेता है, it means it has greater energy. उसके पास ज्यादा एनर्जी है. और कई जो अपना वर्क बहुत स्लो करते हैं, it means it has less energy. So what is required to do work? Energy. So energy is ability to do work. Next is cycling, running, If we do cycling, we require energy. If we run, we also require energy. If we play, we also require energy. All living things need energy to live and work. As we know, all living things, they need energy. हमें जिंदा रहने के लिए एनर्जी चाहिए और काम करने के लिए भी हमें क्या चाहिए? एनर्जी. And what are the types of energy? So first is heat energy. So how heat is energy is produced? It is produced by burning fuel. किसी भी चीज को अगर फ्यूल को अगर हम जलाते हैं, ईंधन को अगर हम जलाते हैं तो क्या प्रोड्यूस होता है? हीट. अगर कोयले को जलाते हैं, ऑयल को जलाते हैं तो क्या प्रोड्यूस होते हैं हमारे पास? हीट. So this is called heat energy. And how heat energy is produced? It is produced by burning fuel such as wood, coal, oil and gas. And what is the use of this energy? We use this energy to cook food and for moving vehicles. So for moving vehicles, we also require heat energy. So what are the types of energy? First is heat energy. हीट एनर्जी को हम कैसे प्रोड्यूस करते हैं? अगर किसी भी फ्यूल को जलाते हैं, इसके अंदर गैस को जलाते हैं, तब हमारे पास क्या प्रोड्यूस होती है? हीट. और ये हीट किस लिए यूज होती है? फॉर कुकिंग फूड और मूविंग व्हीकल्स. सो हाउ हीट एनर्जी इज ऑब्टेन्ड? बाय बर्निंग फ्यूल्स. नेक्स्ट इज इलेक्ट्रिकल एनर्जी. So what do you mean by electrical energy and how we obtain electrical energy? So as we know, when electricity is not available in our home, we use generators. So we use generator and this electrical energy is produced from generators. Dynamo's chemical reaction in the cell and battery. So what do you mean by dynamo? It is a device for converting mechanical energy into electrical energy. So what do you mean by dynamo? It is device used to convert mechanical energy into electrical energy. जो मैकेनिकल एनर्जी को इलेक्ट्रिकल एनर्जी में कन्वर्ट कर देती है, दिस इज कॉल्ड डायनेमो. सो केमिकल रिएक्शन इन द सेल्स एंड बैटरीज, इट इज प्रोड्यूस्ड एट थर्मल पावर स्टेशन इन द बर्निंग कोल. व्हेन वी बर्न कोल, सपोज दिस इज कोयला, दिस इज कोल. If we burn this coal, which energy is produced? Heat energy is produced. And in the hydropower plant, which use the force of running water to turn a generator. So how we run generator? दो पावर प्लांट होते हैं, एक थर्मल पावर प्लांट, एक हाइड्रो पावर प्लांट. हाइड्रो में क्या चीज यूज होती है? वाटर. और थर्मल में क्या चीज यूज होती है? हीट. So heat energy is used in the thermal power plant. So you have to reach up to the heat energy. So what do you mean by energy? It is ability to do work. And what are the types of energy? First is heat energy. Second is electrical energy. And third is wind energy. Fourth is water energy. Fifth is muscular energy. Sixth is solar energy, and seventh is atomic energy. So you have to reach up to heat energy. And how heat energy is produced? Heat energy is produced by burning fuel. So how heat energy is produced? By burning fuel. Just like wood, just like coal, just like oil, just like gas. So in this way, we produce heat energy. And what is the use of these energy? It is used to cook food or moving vehicles. So this heat energy is used to cook food and for the moving vehicles. So these are the types of energy. So first is heat energy. So how heat energy is produced? By burning fuel. By burning fuel. Just like wood, coal, oil, and gas. So you have to read what is the definition of work? When force acts on a body to move a certain distance, then work is said to be done. And what are the example of work done? Pushing a chair, kicking a football, lifting a bag. And what do you mean by machines? So what do you mean by machine? It is a device which makes our work easy. It is a device, it is a tool which makes our work easy. And what are the types of machine? Simple machine and complex machine. And what are the example of simple machine? Scissors, axe and lever. And what are the example of complex machine? Washing machine, car and refrigerator. So if you have any query regarding this topic, you can ask. If you have any query regarding this topic, you can